Hello everybody, welcome back to Impressionable Gaming. Today I'm going to be giving my review of the new game that just dropped, Hi-Fi Rush. It's been a while since I've done a gaming review, but this game really stuck with me and I've been thinking about getting back into it. So, let's begin. Hi-Fi Rush is a rhythm-based hack and slash developed by Tango Gameworks, published by Bethesda, and was released on January 25th this year. And let me start by saying this game is an absolute masterpiece. I'm absolutely blown away by this phantom bomb that came out of nowhere and immediately captivated me with its incredible art style and absolutely banger soundtrack. The story follows a wannabe rock star named Chai, who, with his ragtag group of friends found along the way, fight to take down an evil corporation, Vandalay Technologies. The characters are very well written, with each of them feeling unique in their own way, allowing you to feel invested in each of them. I never felt like I loved one more than another. Each of them felt very impactful to the story and had a purpose. I won't be going in depth with the characters to avoid spoilers, because I wouldn't want to take anything away from this fantastic game if any of you watching this were planning on playing it, which you should absolutely consider. So, let's officially start with the gameplay. At the very start of the game, Chai has an operation that has a small hiccup, accidentally fusing his iPod into his chest as its own cybernetic implant. This is important because it causes Chai and everything around him to follow the beat of the song playing in his chest. This is where the unique nature of Hi-Fi Rush's combat starts to take form. The game allows you to attack freely, but it encourages you to fight on beat with the music, increasing your damage and allowing for some devastating combos. There is a multitude of attacks that you can learn as you earn gears that work as the game's currency. I didn't focus too much on new attacks and combos because I decided to play on the hardest difficulty because I'm just a god gamer like that. Yeah, I know. Hold your applause. Like and subscribe. But playing on the highest difficulty, I prioritized the passive abilities that you unlock a little later to make it easier in the long run instead of trying to memorize a bunch of different combos. These are known as the chip sets that you get later on, and they really help with finding extra heals if you need them, shortening the cooldown on your friends that you can call in to fight with you, among other things. There is a lot of customizability to match your playstyle, but ultimately, the combat remains pretty much the same. That being said, I never got bored of the combat in any capacity. The enemies were very different, although most of them were all robots. Each of them were very unique in how they function and added an extra layer of difficulty. On top of that, the animation is absolutely phenomenal. Each cutscene was a treat, and the voice acting was very well done. As was mentioned earlier, the musical score is amazing, to say the least. Obviously, with this being a rhythm-based game, the soundtrack is a crucial part, and they did not hold any punches when it came to dropping bangers when the boss fights kicked in. I couldn't help but start moving to the beat while I was viciously focusing on timing my attacks. Speaking of which, I almost forgot to mention, in combat, you learn to call in your friends to fight with you, which helped with certain mechanics in fights, where they might have a force field that Peppermint needs to shoot, or bulky armor that Macaron needs to bust through. The extra mechanics that are added to the combat makes sure that the gameplay never gets stale. Just when you think you're getting used to it, they throw something new into the fold, always keeping you on your toes. And then at the end of each level, they tie it all together with an epic boss fight with its own original soundtrack. And to top it all off, Hi-Fi Rush sits at a very reasonable price of $30. Now, I know I've talked at length about how this game is great and how much I recommend it, so now it's time we talk about the game's shortcomings. Now, there isn't much to say in regards to complaints, but I still think it needs to be mentioned, even if it is small. You can't skip cutscenes! This can prove to be pretty annoying when you're learning boss mechanics and getting a feel for new areas and enemies. Though the visuals and soundtrack make up for this slightly, it is still frustrating to sit through the same thing 3 or 4 times because some of them can be a tad bit lengthy. It's a small gripe, I know, but I still think it's worth mentioning. Next would be the runtime. It's pretty short. I finished it in about 11 hours, but I was kind of taking my time in some spots, and I had a couple rough fights. I'm pretty sure this game could easily be finished in about 9 hours if you streamline it start to finish. Another small complaint I have has less to do with the game and more to do with my inability to get good. But the ranking system kind of screws you over sometimes. Every 2 times you fail at a task, it brings you down a whole rank. I got all S's on one of the last levels, But because I died 4 times trying to learn mechanics to a new boss, I got a B rank. Again, I know this is a skill issue, but I'm still butthurt about it. This isn't going to be considered with the final score. I just wanted to vent a little bit. The only other thing I can think about mentioning would be replayability. It is, at the end of the day, a linear single-player story. While it may be Game of the Year material, at least in my opinion, I can't say I'm necessarily planning on dumping more hours into it than I need to, unless I wanted to try and 100% the game. And with so many big games on the horizon for this year, I don't see myself doing that, if I'm being honest. Maybe someday. Alright, I think that just about sums it up. I am going to be giving Hi-Fi Rush a score of 9 out of 10. Again, the musical score, art style, animation, writing, gameplay, and voice acting make for a fantastic game that captivates you and keeps you hooked till the very end. And I highly recommend anyone listening to go try it out on Steam. The only things that could possibly hold it back are the unskippable cutscenes, short runtime, and the lack of replayability. But with all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. Sorry I've not posted in a while. I was getting over a sickness, but I'm back now and I'm hoping, not certain, but hoping to be a little more consistent. But it's tough to try and balance work, life, streaming, and videos, so bear with me. Anyways, I'll see you all next time. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Take care, everyone.